So the setting for this video is a little bit different than it normally is. It's just too damn hot in my garage to make a video out there. So I'm in my office right now, which is also my guest bedroom, which is also my dog's room. And I'm gonna do a video in here. And that is much better with the blinds like that. I'm gonna do a video in here because it's too hot. It's too hot in my damn garage, dude. There's no way. I'm not doing it. I mean, I could do it, but if I don't have to, why would I? You know what I mean? Look at this. This is pretty nice, too. I got this sick mouse pad. It's got shit all over it. And, cowboys and stuff. And it's sick, dude. Got it from Mousepad Co. No affiliation whatsoever. They just do have sick mouse pads. They're kind of expensive. This one was like, I don't know, like 40 bucks. It's their second biggest. I could get one that fills up this whole workbench that I use as a desk, but I didn't want to do that. So, but I did want to talk about now that I've got that out of the way, off my chest. I don't know. I'm fucking over explaining my desk setup that y'all don't give a fuck about. I got the SRO and the P01, and I made a post about it. And you know, in the post I said I wasn't really sold on the way it looks, and that didn't take long because I love it. I think it looks way better than the RMR. Looking back at pictures, initially I was like, this is kind of too much, and now I feel like the RMR was just not enough. I didn't love that gap at first, but considering this is like milled, there's no gap like from the front of the optic to the back of the, you know, optic cut, that, you know, is really what bothers me with stuff. So this gap here doesn't bother me as much. And it's just like, this is also clear, by the way. I've not had a chance to take it to the range and get this zeroed, so I'm not carrying it right now. But this just complements the like shape of this gun and the form of this gun a lot better, in my opinion. God, that looks so good, dude. That looks so fantastic. I can't remember if I've heard of people having issues with ejecting shell casings. I'm just going to have to see. I'm really hoping that's not the case. I know Jaeger Works makes like a protective shield you can bolt on that goes around this, and I think it's a good idea, but I don't think I'm going to get it because I don't plan on like absolutely abusing this gun. I'm going to shoot the hell out of it, but I'm not going to abuse it like I will, like my Glock. But that... such a big window, that lower 1/3 or even less co-witness is perfect. That's a good look, isn't it? Never had an SRO, so this is my first time having a circle pistol optic, and I really like it. This is honestly what I use on Call of Duty. It's like the round SRO style optic, because you just get that good field of view that feels natural. A circle feels more natural than a square to me. And here's a little update on the polished mag. So, you know, it's not the best. You might get a glimpse of my face in there a little bit. But, you know, it's holding up okay. There's rust spots on it and stuff, but for the most part, being a completely unfinished piece of steel, does pretty good. But yeah, I think this looks sick. I'm gonna put this back in here because that just is a vibe right there. That's a whole vibe. And so this has really motivated me to put some more, you know, work into this gun. And I've always been really skeptical about, you know, modifying internals with it, and I just want to keep it reliable. But I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna get some Cajun Gunworks internals in this thing. Probably just the standard package, probably not the Pro. Do like a race ring hammer, so it'll still be a ring shape, fit that like rounded nature of the P01, but it'll just be, you know, an oval, elongated a little bit more. And then I do want to get the barrel refinished with that. I can't remember what they coat it with. It might be like a nickel boron. No, I can't remember. But Cajun Gunworks offers like a silver polished look, but that's finished. So really want to get that crowned barrel and the standard trigger job or package, whatever, and that'll probably be it for this. I've considered porting and slide cuts and stuff. If I did anything with the slide, I'd probably enhance these serrations, but I kind of just like the way those look. They match these back serrations here. I've never really seen people serrate this further like I've seen. You know, some companies will take every other line out of this and just make those serrations a little deeper. And like I said, I thought about that, or just some like one big port on the top or window. And I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to leave it like this and just get the trigger done, the crowned barrel, and have the barrel repolished. That'll give me that good looking hammer. And of course a crowned barrel looks amazing. I mean, if you've never seen one, it looks better on like a smaller caliber round, like a round that's smaller in diameter, or on like a bigger barrel that's like a 2011 or something, where you have like this fat barrel that takes up the bushing, you know, the area for the bushing in the front of the slide to compensate for, you know, the lack of 45 in there. And those look sick, but any kind of crowning on a barrel looks really good. They do have rose gold and regular like bronze gold, but I'm just not sold on the rose gold. I could get like the raw finished steel hammer, have the raw, you know, polished and coated barrel, and then everything else blacked out, polished mags. I think that would be a good look. And hell, I may even go all black if I did anything. If I did any color on anything, I'd just black everything back out. And I don't need to think about that too much because I have my mind made up. I want polished. I don't need to start blacking things out again, even though... What would look better? This style, because I need to get some new wood grips. I want to get some new wood grips for it. You know, black with like a couple polished accents and wood grips, or just murdered out with wood grips. I don't know. Back to Call of Duty, dude. I'm gonna have to build that gun on Call of Duty or Photoshop. But I know I did like a... That's pretty much it though. The SRO is sick. It feels more... I didn't want to talk more about this actually. It does feel a lot more robust than you'd imagine, or than I imagined. Like, you know, obviously it's an aluminum housing and everything, and they sent a tool for that right there, which is cool. It's still like kind of hard to get that lid line up. This is like my first experience with this style of optic. Everything else I've used has been an RMR or a Holosun. So the battery tray is really straightforward, and then the RMR is a pain in the ass, but also very straightforward. You've got 2 screws to 15 foot-pounds. Take them out, change the battery, clean them, replace them if you need to, and put them back in. But this, like, you know, you have to have a tool that goes like in and in and in. You can't just stick like I haven't tried a screwdriver, but I don't believe you can just stick a screwdriver down there, because that's like the perfect top-down look right there, top-down view. And obviously you don't have that. You can't access that middle. I haven't tried it, but they did send a tool. I used the tool they gave me because it's plastic, and I think this is metal. But it is a pain in the ass to make sure everything's lined up. Like, I think it's sealed. The arm, or the dot obviously works. But, you know, it's hard to judge. You know, you're trying to get something that flat with, you know, that's that big around, flat, you know, and not cross-threading on the, like, 4 threads of engagement that it's got. It's kind of a new experience, but yeah. Oh yeah, so I made a whole video putting this on as well, and I was just really out of it, and had eaten entirely too much that day, and it was a miserable video to record and also to watch, so I'm not going to upload it, but just a couple highlights from that video. God, I wish I wasn't so lazy. I would like clip in some of the stuff, but honestly, it's embarrassing. I'm saving myself some embarrassment by being lazy and not clipping them in. But so I obviously had the RMR on this. I wanted to take it off, and every time I've taken optics off of a gun, it's really nerve-wracking, especially if you use, you know, the correct amount of Loctite. And then if you're like me and installed several optics before you had a, you know, torque screwdriver that does inch pounds, and so you kind of cranked them down, and I've got a good idea of like what's tight. I've done a lot of work on cars. I've always been a tinkerer, and honestly, I think that'll get you really far with torque specs, like, you know, as far as like just fudging it, because if you've tinkered with stuff and you've broken a bunch of heads off a bunch of screws, and you've just broken shit by manhandling it too much, you kind of know, and then, I had stuff fall off from not tightening it enough. You kind of can get a good feel of like, all right, that's tight. That's good. That's a good amount of tightness for this application. Even if, like I said, you don't have a torque screwdriver. So I've definitely never broken anything off, gotten anything counter or cross threaded in the slide. But when I did put the RMR on, I don't think I had the torque wrench, and I just kind of snugged it down, tried to even them up, just, back and forth until they felt super secure, but not like they're married to the slide. So when I was taking them off, all that to say, when I was taking them off, I used that orange Loctite because these were screws that the primary machine sent me. Ended up having to add a little bit of Loctite in there. No big deal. Screwed it back down, and I went ahead and did both because one didn't have enough. It was backing out. May as well back them both out, clean them, Loctite them. So I did that, and I used the orange removable, which is high strength, or like the Permatex orange, which is high strength removable. And let me tell you something. I've used that since I used that to mount the RMR for my flashlight screws, because that will work like the green Loctite. That's like a slip interference fit style Loctite instead of like a thread engagement. The orange stuff will. It's made for threads, I believe, but I think it'll work, kind of the same way as the green stuff. And I kind of learned a lesson when I was mounting these flashlights because, dude, that stuff works really, really good. That high strength removable, it is high strength, absolutely. And it is removable. I've never had anything break or get permanently stuck and like strip out a head on a screw, but it will tempt your patience, dude. Like, or it will test your patience, not tempt your patience. I'm getting ahead of myself. It'll test your patience because it is removable, but you better have the exact driver you need, because that shit is tight, and your Allen key or your Torx head better be new and crisp and not have stripped before, because I've got several replacements. I've got several sets of tools that include very small Torx bits and Allen keys, and I was able to get one that fit in there really snug, and I could back the screws out, but man, it was scary. And I actually got them out, and one of the problems was, there's a piece of this optic that the screw goes through, where there's like open threads, if that makes sense, before they engage in the plate. That was flooded on one of like the left screw. Totally my fault. I put too much orange Loctite in there, but it created like a sheath around the bolt that went through the RMR, and I mean, it looked insane. There's just entirely too much Loctite in there, and that was definitely kind of a lesson learned. Obviously, I got by, and I've always gotten by without, if I don't have a torque screwdriver and, maybe the necessary Loctite, but why make it harder on yourself in the future? Just use the blue stuff. If that loosens up, then move up. Dude, you should be checking at range days. You should be checking your optic anyway. I'm really bad about that, and I should practice what I preach more, but it's true. Like, you should be checking this, so you shouldn't have to like just default to the toughest shit. Like, try something. And so actually I'm doing that now with this. I didn't even put Loctite on. I used the supplied Loctite on the Tridger's screws, which I've also done in the past with red dots, and they come loose, but that's okay. I'm just going to go shoot it, and I'm going to check it every, couple mags. If it's backing out, okay, I know I need to take that stuff out, clean those threads out, add some more Loctite, and we'll be good to go. No big deal. But I'd rather do that and work my way up to like the minimum required to keep the back screws from backing out, rather than jump to the high strength stuff and then give myself a fucking panic attack when I go to swap optics or batteries on that RMR. Anyway, just be glad I spared you the video of me doing that, because I had been eating like a pig, and I was just burping and farting through the whole video, because I was just eating bad, and I'm getting back on track now, but I was struggling. I was suffering there, but the RMR is sweet, dude. Super stoked with it. I think it's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. It's like, you know, aluminum body, everything works. Big window. It's not zeroed. Got to get it out to the range of 0, so I'm not carrying it right now. But yeah, super excited to shoot with it, and excited to do some stuff to this gun. I don't know when all that's going to happen, the Cajun stuff. Probably not for a while. I've obviously been spending money. I bought this 45 in that SRO. I'm not fucking rich, so I'm hurting from these past couple purchases, and I've got some other stuff I want to do too. Like obviously I want to send this to Wager, and let them cut it, then put my RMR on it. That's probably the next time I'll spend any money on any guns, and for a while anyway, because I just want to go shoot too. Any kind of leftover money I have, I'm probably not gonna, you know, probably gonna try and save a little bit more and go shoot a little bit more. So enjoyed putting like a bunch of rounds through this in one range session too. Yeah, RMR is going to go on this. I'm going to do irons forward, because why not? Don't have a gun with that yet, and I really believe the RMR footprint will be a footprint that's used for many, many years to come, especially with them releasing like the RCR and the RMR HD in that same footprint. They kind of doubled down on it. Also, you can get the new RCR that doesn't have the overhang with the irons forward still, so if I wanted to upgrade, I still have that option. And then, of course, all the RMR to acro, RMR to whatever adapters. So that's what I'm going with. I think I've mentioned that in a previous video, but that's going to be what I do next to anything. Let's get this sent off. The last decision I have to make, though, is do I do the slide black again or do I do OD green? I really can't decide. I really want to stay black, but I don't have any green guns. I have my FDE dagger. I've got this. You know, I've got my other CZs. I've got my FDE P365. Thinking green. Or maybe I'll just keep this black and I'll send my P10C off and only have a Cerakote job done on that and have it done green. That would be pretty cool. I think the green would look better on the P10 than it does the Glock. The Glock just looks good, black and square. It's so basic and stupid looking. It's one of those things that's so ugly it's pretty, you know. And I put a wedge on the back of this like a few minutes ago just because it really does tend to push out, especially since I'm getting a gut again. And so I'll put the wedge back on there. Yeah, definitely another reminder, time to lose some fucking weight. But that's pretty much it for this one. I just wanted to show you the SRO and kind of give you a rundown on, you know, how not to change an optic. Most of you probably already know everything I talked about, but I just thought it's funny. You know, I'm just so quick to do shit without having the right tools just because I want it done now. You think I'd have learned that lesson sooner in life, but we're all on this journey at our own pace, bro. And there's somebody that needed to hear that too, I'm sure. So I'm trying to make myself feel a little bit better, but appreciate you guys watching. Holler at me in the comments if you have any questions or any experience with Cajun Gunworks recently. I know in the past they've been a very outstanding company with a great reputation, and but I've seen some stuff recently in the past few months that just a couple posts here and there about functionality issues or problems after people sending their guns to them, having them upgraded with the trigger packages and stuff. So if you have any experience with them, I'd appreciate the feedback in the comments. If you have anything about Wager you want to say, leave that in the comments, unless it's negative, and you can go fuck. I'm just kidding. Wager's just, I mean, dude, like, even if they fuck some shit up, I'm still gonna, you know, represent or I'm still gonna promote Wager, dude. They're the shit. All right. That's pretty much it. I say that because Wager's just like crazy turnaround time. The father and son shop, the most affordable prices in the game, outstanding work. I've never seen somebody have a bad experience with them. I'm just anyway. All right. Before I get off on another tangent, start rambling about some other bullshit. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and yeah, leave me a comment. See ya.